there's often misconceptions around filters and fluids that they're just a commodity product, that they're all the same. It's just simply not true. They very much are different, from the way they're conceived and designed to the way they perform for our customers in the field.
Cat filters and fluids are different because of the design behind the product, the manufacturing behind the product, and the fact that they're really optimized in the design process for the Caterpillar machines.
I do believe there is a difference between Cat filters and fluids and some of the other name brands. You can see the difference.
I look at the designs. I know the chemistry of our fluids. I know how we run the performance of these, and I know these are above and beyond what the industry would use.
Look at the spiral roving. Look at the polyurethane end caps, the non-metallic center tube, and then cut open a competitive filter and show them metal center tube. You know, with all that metal in that filter, that is another place for contamination.
The competitors, you know, the material being depleted or coming apart, obviously low hour failures of filters that aren't designed right, not using quality material internally.
They don't have the capacity, the efficiency. They do not have all the design hours that go in and testing that go into that product to prove that that's the right application.
No other OEM in the world can say they do endurance testing to the extent of Caterpillar.
Cost is minimal when it comes to filter prices. It's cheap insurance to pay for the better filter and fluid up front.
At the end of the day, it makes absolutely no sense to buy the cheap product because you have too much troubles afterwards.
I've getting phone calls from customers going, my oil drain looked much cleaner when I went to the Caterpillar filters and fluids. My system's being protected.
So there's two big reasons that we can deliver the high quality that we promise. One is our testing. Our products outperform competitive products. And the other is from customers. They would try a different lubricant, for instance, and they would see their fuel economy decrease.
You don't have to worry about the downtime associated with major component failures due to a subpar oil or a filter that's going into bypass when it shouldn't.
Cat filters and fluids have a huge impact on the customer's business. If you're using the right products and you're not having early repairs and failures, you're going to have significantly less cost.
We can see less fuel burn, we can see it in mechanical terms, we can see machine failure, we can see problems that happen when improper filtration or improper fluids are used in a machine.
You keep the uptime going, you're making money. It's huge.
Every product that we make here exceeds the specification 2 or 3 times. They have a longer life in the field compared with the competition. It's a better product.
We've seen it time and time again where cutting corners with cheap doesn't pay off in the long run. You know, we can prove value over the life cycle of the machine and the longevity of components, you know, whether it be injectors or hydraulic pumps, etc.
Trust would be the biggest thing, is just knowing that it's going to do what it says it's going to do. You don't have to worry about it. Put it on, forget about it.
We always talk system when we have the fluids, the components, the filters, because all three complement each other. We work in the dirt, so we have to keep the dirt out, and this is where our filters keep our fluids clean so that the fluids can do their optimal job.
The development process of fluids is very similar to filters, that we'll have a new engine that's coming out and we'll make sure we're formulating that fluid to work with that engine.
As machines have changed over the years and more required out of those machines, filtration and fluids have had to change.
We went from straight grades, what are called monogrades, to multi-viscosities, now to energy efficiency products, as well as zinc-free and environmental and biodegradable.
You have extremely cold environments. We have machines working down in the Antarctic. We have machines working in the desert.
How is this oil going to flow when it's minus 20 or 25 below outside, and you have to have that piece of equipment fire up and immediately start working?
And it all depends on the application, so you have to consider flow rates and efficiencies. So that's all designed into this product.
It's very important for the customer because the customer must be sure there will be no failure before we ship, our filters are very deeply tested to assure that the customer is satisfied later on.
If you ask a customer, why did I buy a cap machine? I bought that cap machine because it's the best. That optimization includes the fluid that goes in it. So if you don't use a cap fluid, you immediately have cut your efficiency. You have cut the horsepower output because the fluid you've put in it is no longer part of the original design.
We have been a leader driving for better fluids in the market for the past 30 or 40 years. So we have leadership there, we know what's needed, we know what makes an oil robust, and that's what we design for.
To get the benefit from the CAT products, you need to really experience those products and give them a shot. The people that don't are generally people who are trying to save $1 today and not looking at their long-term costs.
There is a big misconception of, the cost of the CAT filters versus the competitor's filters. A lot of times they say, well, I could save 20% by going to this competitor. We'd look at the long term versus the short term. That 20% over 1 year, a lot of times is only about $2 to $8.
So at the end of the day, it's downtime that's much more expensive to the customer. The long-term value of the product is definitely higher for a CAT grease than it would be for some other off-the-shelf product.
If you want to run a successful business, cutting corners is no way to, how many stories are out there cutting corners that ever end up winning.
You need to look beyond the price of anything that you buy on a CAT machine and look for the total cost of ownership. That's why you bought that CAT machine in the first place. You bought it because it was going to give you the best efficiency. You bought it because it was going to move the most dirt. Frankly, you bought it because it was going to make you the most money. And CAT fluid is one more part that helps you make the most money.
You're investing a lot of money into those machines, and I think you'd want to put the best product you can in it.
The big picture is no downtime, but I know every day a machine doesn't break is a day closer to it breaking. If I can avoid that day as long as possible, then our profitability just is that much better.